Today I want to share with you guys my collection of crochet Disney granny squares. Hey babes! Welcome or welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy and today I want to talk about something that I have been talking about forever, but I don't really show too much on this platform. It's almost 3 p.m. and here I am finishing my coffee. That's cool. Not even finishing it. It's halfway done. Alright, so if you have been a subscriber of this channel for any length of time, you may or may not have heard me kind of in passing talk about my Disney Granny Square project or my Disney project, something like that. Oh, do you like my shirt? It says un poco loco, okay? Coco's my fave. I had to dress for the occasion, you know. My Disney Granny Square project is an idea I came up with where I wrote down a huge list of animated Disney movies in chronological order, and I started crocheting a granny square based on every single movie on the list. I don't know how I came up with this idea. I kind of got the concept for the Snow White one because that was the very first Disney animated film. And I just thought, you know, it seems like something that would be fun. Like maybe I could include all movies and whatever. Now, obviously, no, I didn't include all movies on my list. I did not include sequels. Well, not all sequels. Some sequels I did. But I didn't include like lesser known or like kind of slept on movies like, I didn't put Fantasia, even though I know a lot of people like that. I personally just... There's no storyline here. I didn't put like The Three Caballeros because I couldn't stand that movie. I didn't include certain sequels that I deemed unnecessary for this project, even ones that I did like Lion King 2, Little Mermaid 2, Lady and the Tramp 2. I even liked Cinderella 2 as a kid, but none of these I thought were necessary for what I was trying to accomplish here, so I just didn't include them. But the baseline is I wrote out this giant list of Disney movies and I've been crocheting a granny square based on each movie, and I have 48 squares at this point. So I thought I could jump on here today and show you each square, show you the appliques. I did do a video like this. I don't know how long it's been. If it hasn't been a full year, it's definitely been quite a few months. So I definitely have quite a few more squares under my belt now, and I just wanted to share them today. In case you're new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, showing off finished projects or patterns, sitting down getting cozy and crafty with you guys, just chit-chatting it up, and delving into all things crafty and crochet. So if that kind of content sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. Without further ado, let me show you my Disney granny squares. I'm going to try to keep it quick since we do have 48 squares to show. I don't want this video to be like 800 years long, so we start first with our first and the one that has gotten the most views across all my platforms, at least Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, my Snow White square. I think that the colors represent the movie perfectly. Her dress, her everything, you know. A lot of people have told me like I should have added poison to the apple, but I don't know. I really like the simplicity of just the red apple, the blue and yellow square. You can see like my stitch work wasn't super clean back then, but I do love it. This is like one of my, you know, it's not one of my favorite squares like when I look at them all together, but it is definitely like, it holds a very special place in my heart because it's like, this is the thing that really like catapulted me into diving into this project and reaching and finding so many new like audience members. So hello, if you discovered me from my Disney series, you have this one to thank. Next here I have my Pinocchio square. So there's a lot going on here. I did his little collar with the bow. I did his nose with the green, the like little leaf, like when his nose starts to grow a lot and he ends up with a big old bird's nest at the end of it because he's lying so much. I did the donkey ears from when he gets transported to Treasure Island or Pleasure Island. That's what it's called, Pleasure Island. And then his little hat. And I just think it's so cute. Like everything except the face, you know? That's kind of the vibe that I was going with here. And I think it's fun. The only thing that bugs the hell out of me about this square, and I just can't believe that I did this. Like what a rookie mistake, bro. I've been crocheting for years, okay? Like a decade. And I crocheted this square. And I don't know if you can tell, any of you experienced crocheters out there, but, oh, by the way, all the backs of the squares look like this. I'm not taking any mind to, like, make it look clean on the back because I'm just going to put a backing on the blanket when it's all done. But anyway, anybody notice? Anybody notice what's wrong here? Yeah. I sewed the appliques on the wrong side of the square. And it bugs me every single time I lay it all out, you know, for a new Disney Square video because I notice it so much. I'm like, how the hell did I not notice this when I was sewing it on, when I was working on this square. I mean, I know this was back in March of, 2024, but I don't know how I didn't notice this. And it bugs me, but like from afar you can't tell, so it's fine. Ugh, but it bothers me. It does bother me. It does bother me. Okay, next we have our Dumbo square. I do love this one, probably because it's the first square that incorporates pink. But I did put the little, the elephant ears, the trunk, his little yellow hat, and I had to include the little black crow feather. That's the only reason Dumbo thinks he can fly, is because the crows give him a feather, and, he puts it in his little nose and he flies with it. And I just thought it was cute. To me, I don't know. I love it. I'm biased, but this I think was my original favorite of the OG 3, probably because it's pink. But yeah, there is Dumbo. And then this one quickly dethroned Dumbo because it is my Bambi square, and I just think it's so cute. I included the little Bambi, his head, and a little crown on top, because even though he never gets a crown in the movie, they do call him the little prince. He was the prince of the forest, so I thought that was cute. I put Thumper's little foot here, and then Flower's tail. I just, and then I just put a flower here because I didn't just want a skunk tail. I just, Flower. He's Flower. And by the way, for most of these, I forgot to mention, like for most of these, like Snow White, I did find the apple applique online. But then I freehanded the entirety of Pinocchio. Freehanded most of Dumbo. I think I found the trunk pattern somewhere else. I found a pattern for ears as well, but they were turning out way too big. They weren't going to fit on the square, so I ended up kind of freehanding those as well. But yeah, I think this was the only part that I found a pattern for somewhere. I freehanded everything else. Most of the stuff on my Disney squares is freehanded. Just in case you're wondering. But I do plan on creating patterns eventually. Maybe I'll make like a little book or something, or I don't know if I'll release them one by one or make videos. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I do want to release patterns because I know a ton of people ask me, like, do you have the pattern for this? I would love to make one, and I do want to provide patterns. My issue with that is just that I try so hard to get these videos out in a timely manner, as timely as I can. And when I'm freehanding things, it's hard for me to like slow myself down and be like, okay, wait, no, I have to write down what I did there. You know what I'm talking about? So it's a little hard for me to get out patterns, but I will eventually. I'm just going to have to basically go back and remake the square so that I can release patterns. But yeah, anyway, so this is my little Bambi square, and I do love the colors, and this one quickly became my favorite. And then we got our very second princess movie in the mix, my Cinderella square. I thought that the slipper was a little too on the nose, Also, I couldn't figure out how to make a nice looking glass slipper, but I was like, you know what, I kind of want to do the carriage. I just think it came out really adorable, and also if you turn it this way, it's like a hidden Mickey, I kind of love that. And I love this one obviously also because it is pink, but with those spots of blue and stuff, and then I put the yellow. Obviously it's like her hair, but then it's like the window, and yeah, I don't know, I think it came out super adorable. I do love my Cinderella square. All of that one was freehanded. Then we have my Alice in Wonderland square. I know a ton of people have a ton of opinions on this one. They're like, why didn't you do the Mad Hatter's hat? Why didn't you do the eat me or drink me? Why didn't you do the Cheshire Cat smile? Blah, 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 blah. I think that this is, like, for somebody that doesn't even really like Alice in Wonderland that much, honestly, I'm like, this is very classy Alice. It's very subtle. It's very chic. I like the card suits. I think if I had to go back, the only thing I would change is I'd probably use a brighter red for the diamond and the heart. But other than that, I really like how this one came out. I do believe that I found patterns, like applique patterns for the suits, like the shapes. Like maybe the diamond, I think I freehanded that, but everything else I think I might have found. Like, I think I found the heart pattern, and then I did it upside down, and then kind of added this piece to make the spade. The club, maybe I freehanded all of this. I really can't remember. See, this is the problem. This is the problem when you don't write anything down. But yeah, anyway, that's my Alice in Wonderland square. I do love it. Considering I don't love Alice in Wonderland that much, I do love this square. Next up, we have my Peter Pan square. And in this one, again, Peter Pan, it does give those nostalgic vibes, although I will say, not one of my favorites. Although whenever I go to Disneyland, I do have to get on Peter Pan, the ride. I do love it. It's like, it just brings back all those like nostalgic feels. And, but so anyway, on the square, I wanted to represent like the pirate ship, you know, the flag. So, you know, Captain Hook, give him a little shout out, you know, but the square itself I did make in like Peter's outfit and like the red around the rim for the feather in his hat. I think that it's cute and I like that it's representing a, you know, a kind of slept on villain. Captain Hook. Awesome. Next up, we have my Lady and the Tramp square, and I adore this one. This one I did the square and the rim to kind of like represent Lady's collar with the license that she gets. But then in the middle, I had to do that like dinner table setting with the plate of spaghetti. And if you like look closely, you know, I know it does kind of look like pizza from afar, but I did try to make it look like noodles. You can even move them around. I think that this one came out super adorable. I loved it. This is the last one I think that I've posted on my YouTube shorts. I have been rolling these out super slowly on here because I just feel like I don't know, the YouTube Shorts algorithm, sometimes it's a little funny. So yeah, but eventually I will get out all the shorts videos for these Disney squares because I do think that you guys will love them. I give my little commentary on the movie and then I tell you guys why I did certain colors, or I even show you guys like failed attempts at squares that I was trying to make. So it's a fun time. Next up, I have my Sleeping Beauty square, and for this one, this was the first time that I toyed with the idea of doing a split color square that's like diagonally split with the green around the rim and Maleficent's horns. Now, I adore this one. I love pink and blue, first of all, and I wanted to represent that whole make it pink, make it blue, you know, situation. And then, I don't know, I just really love the way that I made Maleficent's horns. I feel like they look so clean, and a lot of people have told me like, you know, why did you do that? You should have saved this for the Maleficent movie. But I'm like, well, I'm not doing the Maleficent movie. These are for animated movies. And honestly, I don't know. I adore it. I love it. So, you know, whatever. It's my project anyway. Next up, we have a more simple one, but one that I think is so stinking adorable. My 101 Dalmatians square. And I just put the little paw prints with the white and the red. I think it was so perfect and simple. And I know puppies do have 4 little paw pads and not 3, but it just was gonna look a little too crowded if I did the 4 on each foot, so I just did 3. But I think that they came out super adorable regardless. And then it's also kind of like they almost just look like spots anyway, so it's like Dalmatian, you know. I love it. After 101 Dalmatians came the Sword and the Stone. So I literally crocheted the sword in the anvil on the stone. And I really like the way this one came out. The colors and everything. The Sword and the Stone, rewatching it as an adult, I didn't love it. And I remember when I was a kid, I did love it. My mom, I think, loved it too because she would always put it on. But now when I watched it as an adult, I was like, okay, this movie isn't like that good, but whatever. But, you know, it's a classic. It is a classic. And so I had to include it in my project. I did watch it a ton growing up, and here we go. My Sword in the Stone square. Pretty on the nose there. After Sword in the Stone came the Jungle Book, which I love this one. This one I did like a multicolor square. I wanted to represent like those jungle vibes, the green, the browns, you know. Around the rim I did do orange because I wanted to represent King Louis. I knew he wasn't going to be on the square, but I wanted to kind of represent him in some way because he is kind of an icon. But on the square, I had to do the biggest icon of them all, Baloo. And if you've noticed, actually, this might be my very first square that has a face on it. I didn't put eyes because I didn't think it needed it. I wanted it to kind of leave it subtle. No eyes, just a nose, you know? And then I put bananas as like the tropical fruit. Also, you know, the monkeys, they have all the bananas, King Louis and all them. But yeah, so there is my Jungle Book square. I think it came out super cute. I think something about the not having eyes makes it more like subtle chic. I don't know how to explain it. Some of my squares do have eyes, but most of them don't, I think. So we'll get into the reasons and stuff. Okay, now this one was my favorite for the longest time until it got dethroned, but I think still probably my second favorite one that I've ever made, and I'll get into that reason why as well. But anyway, this is my Aristocat square, and you guys, when I tell you, I was so freaking proud of myself with this. I literally brought my vision to life with this one, and it is so stinking adorable. Like, look at it, y'all. Look at it. I had to put little Marie on top, okay, because she's a lady. That's why. And then Toulouse and Berlioz on the bottom. I did the square in the like powder blue color of their couch. And then this is like a gold colored yarn for the trim because the couch is kind of piped in like gold. Oh, I can't, you guys. The Aristocats is one of my favorite movies of all time. Marie is my spirit animal. I love her so much. I love everything Aristocats. I do. I love everything cats, period. I just love cats. And so this quickly became my favorite square, and it held that title for quite a while. It only got dethroned to 1, and I'll get there, but I do love it. That's... Do you guys love it? I love it. After the Aristocats came Robin Hood, which is another one that I loved to watch growing up. This one I went ahead and did a split color square again. I wanted to, on this side, represent Robin Hood's outfit, that like hunter green with his like kind of red. I think he has like red and like a feather in his hat as well. But then on this side, I wanted to represent Maid Marian's outfit. I just thought, you know, I kind of wanted to include her too. But then on the square, of course, I did the bow and arrow for Robin Hood, of course. It was pretty self-explanatory. I just thought that it was perfect representation here. Every time I lay it out, it does kind of look like the letter D, but I'm like, it's okay. You look close. It's a bow and arrow, you know? Maybe the arrow is not as sharp as it could be, but hey. All right, this one was a lot of people's favorites, and I understand why. It was probably like my second favorite up until the Aristocats became my second favorite. Then this one probably got dropped to third. But anyways, it's kind of getting hard for me to like name favorites anymore because there's so many. There's 48. So here is my Winnie the Pooh square. I put the honey jar and a little bee in those like 100 Acre Wood, Winnie the Pooh, like the perfect colors, and I think it is so perfect. So many people were tagging Blake Silva in the video that I posted on TikTok. I think even one person posted him when tagged him when I did it on Instagram as well. I don't think he ever saw it, but still, people know that he like loves Winnie the Pooh, everything Pooh. And so they were trying to like get his attention for him to see this. But I don't know if he ever did. But yeah, I do think it came out super adorable. Like this one, I think would make such a gorgeous baby blanket. I think like for this to be the middle square and then just do like a bunch of plain squares all around, I think it would look so adorable. Like, I don't know. I am kind of thinking like it would be a good idea to remake my Disney squares and then offer them as like, you know, I could make baby blankets on Etsy, like do the one main square in the middle and then all like plain squares all around with like a cute little scallop border or something like that. Wouldn't that be a cute idea? I feel like it'd be so cute, especially for parents, like new parents who love Disney. I don't know. What do you guys think? Next up, we have my Rescuers square, and this one I thought was super fun. They do kind of look like Mickeys, so I had to put their little hats on, but this here is Bernard, of course. We have Bianca, and then the Devil's Eye, the big diamond that they spend the whole movie trying to go find to help Penny escape from the crazy lady. And I just think it's so cute. And then this, I think the background color is because I wanted to represent Penny's outfit. But yeah, I think that one came out so adorable. And I don't know, in my adulthood, like I definitely did love The Rescuers Down Under when I was a child. It was probably one of my favorite movies ever. I had it on VHS. I like watched it all the time. However, upon rewatching, like during the pandemic, me and my man and my stepdaughter, we all kind of like started watching pretty much all the old Disney movies. And upon watching The Rescuers, and then like, I don't know, a few weeks later watching The Rescuers Down Under, I was like The Rescuers Down Under didn't hold up as well for me in my adulthood. Like I was just like, like it just felt like a corny sequel, you know what I mean? Not to say it wasn't good at all. There was certainly parts that I liked about it, but I didn't love it definitely as much as I did when I was a kid. And I definitely did appreciate The Rescuers, like the original one, a lot more in my adulthood. So for all the people that are like, in my comments saying, you forgot the Rescuers Down Under. That's like, it's better than the original. I'm like, I feel like you just haven't watched it in a while and you're attaching your nostalgia to it. Please go watch them back to back and then get back to me, okay? And hey, people are allowed to their opinions. If they truly do believe that, then good for them, but not for me. So I didn't include it, but I had to include the Rescuers. Okay, next up we got the one that was the hardest for me to get through, which is The Fox and the Hound square. This movie makes me sob uncontrollably. Like, people who say like they can't watch Dumbo because it makes them cry too much, like, yeah, I get it. Like, it is sad. It is sad for sure. Or people who say that they can't get through like Brother Bear because it makes them cry too much. Like, I also get it, but dude, have y'all ever watched The Fox and the Hound? Because this wrecked me. It still wrecks me. I can't watch this movie. Like, legitimately, like, by midway, I'm crying through it. And then when you get to the part, you know the part, like, I have like a freaking lump in my throat. Like, I can't breathe. And it's like, not even just like tears rolling down my eyes like at the end of Coco, you know what I'm talking about? But like straight up like like one of those cries. Like, this movie does that to me and I hate it for it, you know? I don't even know how the hell I watched this movie so often as a kid, because it's sad. But I do love my square. I put Copper and Todd and a little heart to represent their friendship. And then I wanted to represent like those kind of like woodland colors behind them. But yeah, love the square. I can't say I love the movie though. It breaks my heart every time. All right, next up we have my square for The Black Cauldron. I did get schooled because I called this my boy Henwin, but people told me Henwin is a girl. So, duly noted, my girl Henwin. I put her right in front of the cauldron, and I did black and purple to represent those witchy vibes. I think it came out really cute. People said I should have added like green smoke coming out of it. I ain't doing all that, but you can if you want. But yeah, I thought it was a cute little square. Again, Henwin doesn't get no eyes. Oh yeah. Also, you saw Bernard, Bianca, the Aristocats, Copper and Todd. None of them get eyes, okay? Not yet. No eyes yet. I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that the people spoke out and did tell me that Henwin was a girl. I remember when I was a kid, I really, really loved Blue's Clues. And it bugged the hell out of me every time somebody would be talking to me about Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues #1 fan over here. And they would call Blue a he. And they're like, yeah, he da da da. And I would always tell them, Blue's a girl. And they're like, no, it's not. Blue's a boy. And I'm like, you're very narrow-minded. Blue is a girl. I know it. And they say, Blue's a boy. The pink one is a girl. Then they like each other. And I'm like, no. Blue is a girl and magenta is a girl. Magenta, by the way, not the pink one. And they're besties for the resties. Steve called Blue her, like he referred to her as a girl multiple times. So I don't know where people got that idea. It's literally just, you know, these made up gender role colors. Yeah, blue is a boy color, pink is a girl color. Like, no. They were both girls. So if you don't know, now you know, playa. So thank you all for correcting me on the fact that Henwin was a girl. I don't think that they ever said it in the movie, so I don't know how people knew that. Maybe they did and I just didn't hear it. The Black Cauldron wasn't my favorite movie that I've ever seen, so But after The Black Cauldron came a movie that I did very much love as a child and do still love to this day, The Great Mouse Detective. And I had to put on Mr. Basil of Baker Street. I almost couldn't get that out. And his magnifying glass, you know, the whole Sherlock Holmes vibes. I really love it. The background, I wanted to represent little Miss Olivia's outfit, and I just think this one came out so adorable. A lot of people say that one is their favorite. Then we have, yet again, like Disney started coming through hot in the 80s. We have another one of my favorites, Oliver and Company, and oh, I love it so much. Big ol' Oliver head with, I had to put a collar on him because he did look a little bit like Toulouse. I also had to include like his little lighter patch of fur right here and his nose. But yeah, in the background I did the little New York City skyline, and then also for around here I kind of wanted to represent like New York City cabs. I didn't really know how many stitches I needed to kind of like really separate them all out, so I was like, you know what, yellow all around, black and white in the corner. boom. But I really do like how this square came out. I love Oliver and Company. That's one of the greatest movies of all time. It's so funny. It's so cute. There's people in the comments saying like, oh, I can't get past the first scene in Oliver and Company. It's too sad. I cry too much. I can't even watch it. And I'm like, what? The movie gets so much better after that. Just make it through that little, like, come on, come on. It ain't no Fox and the Hound, okay? Then there was a 30-year gap from 1959 when Cinderella came out and 1989 when the next princess movie came out. 30 years, no princess. But don't worry, Disney came through strong with the princesses in the 90s. But to kick them off, in 1989, Disney came out with The Little Mermaid, and I wanted to do the little shell necklace that Ariel's voice gets trapped in. I did, you know, the green and red to represent Ariel herself, and I had to include like little purple bubbles. Like, yeah, they could have been blue for the sea, but I wanted to make them purple for like her little seashell bra, and I think this one is just so cute. So Little Mermaid. I love it. Then to start off the 90s, Disney kicked it off with, and this one might have been more like a Walt Disney animation television type thing. I don't know if it was like an official like Disney featured animated film, but regardless, we have DuckTales the movie. I don't know if it might have been called like The Legend of the Lamp. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but this is the square I came up with. It is low-key giving Alvin, Simon, Theodore. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you, you know what I mean? But it is indeed Huey, Dewey, and Louie, their little ball caps. And then down here I put Webigail's little bow, who throughout the whole movie, because I'd never watched DuckTales the show, that was a little bit before my time. I wasn't born until 95, so I wasn't really into it when it was like first coming out. So they are showing Webigail in this movie. You know, what would anybody who hasn't seen DuckTales assume? I assumed she was their sister. So in the commentary for this video, I did mention, like, I had no idea that they had a sister. And so many people were like, she's not their sister, girl. And they were just telling me that she's like the daughter of the nanny. So whatever, she's just over a lot. And I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, that's that, but I did represent them, and then obviously for the white and yellow, I had to go with those ducky vibes, the white, you know, feathers and the bills, and I think it's really cute, and I like how the hats and the bow really pop against that white yarn. So yeah, this one was a fun one, even though I didn't love the movie that much. Maybe I would have like a more nostalgic spot for it in my heart if I grew up watching the show, but since I didn't, it's kind of like it just kind of felt like Saturday morning cartoons when you're young, except it didn't last 20 minutes, it lasted like an hour and a half, so it was a lot. And then we have our next Disney princess movie, which is Beauty and the Beast. And this one, I think it came out so cute. I wanted to do that enchanted rose in the little, what do you call that thing? A cloche? But it's like glass? I don't know. But anyway, and then of course I had to represent Belle's dress with that yellow. And then I wanted to do a dark blue rim for the Beast's suit. I love Beauty and the Beast. It's my favorite Disney princess film. So yeah, I don't know. That one has a special place in my heart too. And then right after Beauty and the Beast came another smash hit banger as far as Disney princesses go, Aladdin. I know it's about Aladdin and not necessarily Jasmine, but let's be honest, she kind of stole the show a little bit. And this one I went more simple as well. I just wanted to represent Jasmine's outfit, but then as far as like the gold details, you know, I wanted to represent like all the treasure, like her jewelry and stuff like that. But in the middle, I did put the genie's lamp. I do love Genie. R.I.P. Robin Williams, such a legend. I think his portrayal of Genie is incredible, amazing, beyond fantastic. So I wanted to represent him, and then I was like, okay, cool. Like now, this one and Snow White are like very equally simple. So, you know, I think it worked out, and I really do like it. This might have been all the squares that I've ever shown on here, because I feel like the last time I showed off my Disney squares, I was barely working on my Aladdin square. So I have a whole other stack about that size that we're about to get into right now. I have literally already been filming for 35 minutes. This is going to be so long to edit. Oh my god. But next up in my Disney project, we have The Nightmare Before Christmas, and oh my gosh, I love this one, you guys. Look at that Jack Skellington face. I think I nailed that. I just think it came out so perfect, and I wanted to go with this little Halloween vibes, and it's just so cute. Not one of my favorite movies in the world. I didn't grow up watching it. Maybe I would have like a more special place for it if that was the case. But I watched it in my adulthood. It's cute for every once in a while, but definitely very iconic character. So I do love it. I do love it. And then now, finally, in the year 1994, came a very special movie called The Lion King. Everybody's favorite, right? But for my Lion King square, this is officially the square that dethroned the Aristocats as my favorite square because I painstakingly designed the Simba Rafiki drawing from the tree on my square, and I still look at this to this day and I'm like, how did I do that? I killed that. And yeah, it really does mean a lot to me. Like, this square means the world to me because this little symbol here, let me see if I can get up and show you. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize now in case this is a super unflattering angle. Okay, but I just wanted to show y'all. This was my very first tattoo that I ever got, ever. I got it when I was 20 years old. I literally wanted that tattoo since I was probably like a freshman in high school. I literally showed it to my mom. I was like, Mom, can I please get this tattoo? And she's like, okay, slow down. But she told me, when you turn 18, or basically like once you graduate high school, if you still want that tattoo, like, because I need you to think about it. Tattoos are forever. So she's like, if you still want it, once you're grown, I'll take you to go get it and I'll pay for it. And I was like, I bet. And after I graduated and stuff, yeah, I was kind of busy with like getting a job and all that. But then pretty much I was like, hey, Mom, remember when you said you'd take me to go get that tattoo? Yeah, I still want it. And she took me and she did pay for it. So thank you, Mom. And to this day, it is still one of my favorite things about my body. I love that tattoo so much. It just, I don't know, it's a part of me. And so this square really feels like it's a part of me too. So it dethroned the Aristocat square, but it is a very, very close second, okay? Because the Aristocats is still like, I love it. I love it. Then my birth year, 1995, we have our first year where 3 movies came out that are on my list. And the first one is a Goofy movie. Oh, how I love a Goofy movie. I got myself a notion. One I know that you'll understand, okay? I had to put Powerline symbol right smack dab in the middle of that square. Everything about this square I wanted to represent Powerline, like the entire plot of the movie. Max trying to go to this concert and actually succeeding and ending up on stage. Like, that's kind of crazy. Just act like a brat and you'll get what you want in life, according to that movie. But anywho, I really do like the whole father-son thing when they come to understand each other at the end. Very cute. One of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. Then next came Pocahontas, and on my Pocahontas square I included Flitz, the little hummingbird, and I think he came out so adorable. And this is the first one that ever got an eye. And not only did he get an eye, he got a straight up safety eye. Hear that? Yeah. I put a safety eye on him because the pattern I used for this hummingbird was actually a Jada and Stitches pattern. And the way that it's crocheted, like it's left with like a little space like here in the middle of the head. So I guess you can like sew on a button or something like that. I'm not a big sewer, but I was like, you know what? I'm putting a backing on this blanket anyways. I'll go ahead and just pop a safety eye in there. I tried to find one of the smaller safety eyes that I had, and I think it turned out really cute. And I do love this. I love the colors that I use. It really feels like colors of the wind inspired, you know. So that is Pocahontas. And then for the last movie that came out in 1995, we have our first Pixar feature, which is Toy Story. And on this one, I included the bottom of Woody and Buzz's shoes. And of course, the N on Woody's shoe is backwards because Andy was really little when he got him, so he didn't know how to, you know, put his name correctly. But then when he got Buzz, he was a little older, so he did. And I think that is such a cute little detail. And then for the back, I did like kind of wanted to represent Andy's wallpaper. But yeah, this is one of my favorites, even though like I prefer Toy Story 2 over Toy Story 1. But that's one of my favorite squares, I think. Next up came James and the Giant Peach, and this one I wanted to go for those like Halloween-y, dark sort of vibes, but I did put the Giant Peach, and I wanted to include Miss Spider. I didn't put her little beret. I thought it looked a little bit more simple and cute like this. But yeah, I remember really liking James and the Giant Peach when I was a kid, which is surprising because I had never seen Nightmare Before Christmas, but I saw this. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this one, but hey, I think the square is cute. Probably not a movie that I'd go back and watch a ton, but yeah, I remember really liking it as a child. Then I have my Hunchback of Notre Dame square. I did the crown for the King of the Fools. Is that what they called it? I haven't watched it since I did it, like watched it for this project. But for this one, instead of just doing a diagonally split color square, I did kind of like two tone, but like on opposite sides. I wanted it to be sort of jester vibes. I don't know. Everything in that movie was very like Mardi Gras, like very festival-y. Everything was like, yeah, even though the themes were very dark. And that movie actually made me very sad. I was like, ugh, it broke my heart. This poor boy, Quasi, you know, was getting, ugh. I hate Frollo. I hate him. He's like one of the worst Disney villains of all time, seriously. And yeah, but that is my Hunchback of Notre Dame square. Next up, we have a square that was very intense to make, but I do love the result. We have Hercules, one of my favorite movies of all time also, and yeah, I did the medal, the symbol of the gods, and I really love how this one came out. For the base square, it's white and blue to represent Pegasus, because I do love Pegasus, but oh, you guys, I impressed myself with this one, I ain't gonna lie. But I thought, you know what, if I can crochet Simba's, like the Rafiki drawing of Simba, I can crochet anything. And that's exactly what I did. Then we have our second Pixar feature, which is A Bug's Life. And for this one, the applique is so thick, but I crocheted Heimlich. But not just Heimlich when he's a caterpillar. I crocheted him when he turns into a butterfly with his tiny little wings, and he's so big and chunky. And I think this one came out so adorable. In the back, I wanted to represent, like, you know, the woody, like the Bugsy type, you know, life. And the around the rim, I did like the light purple for Dot. But I think Heimlich came out so cute, and apparently Pixar did too. Okay. Not to flex, but that did make my day. Then we have another one that I kind of impressed myself with. We have my Mulan square. I did the comb that her father gives her, and oh god, you guys should see the back of this one. You know what? I'll show you. Oh, horrible. But the front, oh, stunning. I know I probably should have brought these bristles down a little lower. You know, I know it's not perfectly even, but y'all, oh, that Mulan square. Oh, I love it. Mulan's one of the greatest movies of all time also. And then obviously for the background square, I went with a Mushu type theme. So I do love it. In case you guys watched my video on here where I was talking about how social media comments are fascinating and like weird, mean / critical comments that I've gotten on my posts before, this here is my Tarzan square that I was telling you guys that, you know, a few people had a problem with. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but here is my Tarzan square. The background, I went with the theme for like Jane's outfit, her yellow dress with like the white ruffles and stuff like that. And then in the middle, I did two hands, Tarzan's hand and Jane's hand on top of each other for that moment where like he realizes, oh my gosh, I'm one of you. You know what I mean? And I just think it's a beautiful moment. And I love my Tarzan square, you know? And I don't care if other people don't. It's my project. After Tarzan, we have Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. I think this one is so adorable. I went with like a twinkly yarn. I think I used Big Twist Twinkle in that red. And then I made, instead of picking a symbol just from the movie, I went instead with kind of like the central theme. So I made a wreath shaped like Mickey. And I even put the little holly berries on top, also shaped like Mickey. I just thought, hello, let's just go with a full Mickey theme. And honestly, I love this. I would probably make like a whole blanket just centered around this and like leave it out for holiday decor. I think it's so fun. It's so cute. Next up, we have our very first sequel on my list, which is Toy Story 2. This one I think I might like even better than my Toy Story 1 square, which is fitting because I do like Toy Story 2 better than Toy Story 1. I think it is the perfect Toy Story movie. Yes, Toy Story 3 is also perfect. It's like the perfect ending to the trilogy. And yes, it's a trilogy. Toy Story 4 doesn't exist. But anyway, I just love Toy Story 2, dude. It is so funny. It's so quotable. And Jessie and Bullseye, I did their little feet as well. I kind of wanted to keep with the central theme of what I did with the first Toy Story square, but instead of the white rim, because I still wanted to represent Andy's wallpaper here, but for I went with a red rim instead. that way to represent like Jessie's hat. I just thought it was cute. And I love it. I think it's so adorable. Okay, now here we have another one that I think I may have popped off with. That Toy Story 2 square was the last movie in the 90s. It came out in 1999. In the year 2000, we got The Emperor's New Groove. And you guys, I did the little extract of llama potion. Hello! In the back, I obviously wanted to represent Cusco, that black hair, and then his outfit. But the bottle, y'all. Oh, I just love how this one came out. I love it. I can't. Like, you see it and there's no mistaking what that is. You know what I mean? Like, the poison for Cusco, the poison chosen specially to kill Cusco's poison. That poison. Yes. Next up, I think in 2001, I'm going to stop naming the years because I'm losing track, but we have one of my favorite Pixar films of all time, Monsters, Inc. I went with Sully and Mike, and Mike here, I had to give him his eyeball because duh. People were going to be up in arms if I didn't do that. But Sully didn't get eyes. They're not necessary to his character, I don't think. But I had to include the 2319, the little sock, and in the back I went with like a Boo theme, you know, her little pink dress, her black hair, and you guys, I love it. I love it. Somebody did point out to me though that Mike's eye is green, it's not blue, but I was like, oh well, you get the gist, right? If anything, Mike Wazowski would just be stoked to be on a crochet square and something would be covering him, you know? Next up, we have my Atlantis square, the Lost Empire, and I think this one came out so adorable as well. I just went with Kita's crystal necklace, and then in the back, I just went with a full Kita theme, like her white hair, her blue outfit. I think the colors here are represented perfectly. I really do love how this one came out. And this isn't one of my favorite movies in the world, but like, you know, I never think like to go watch it, but then whenever I do, I'm like, it was a good movie. Next, we have my Treasure Planet square, and this one I went like real fun and funky with it. I did Morph. If anybody's seen Treasure Planet, you know. I had to include Morph. He's so cute. And then for the background, I don't know if you can really tell, but the yellow is sparkly. So I wanted that to represent like the treasure, and then the blue to kind of represent the fact that they're like in space for most of this. But then around the rim, I went with a Mr. Arrow theme. R.I.P. Mr. Arrow. Gone too soon. I loved him. He was a cool character, man. And they cut him off so ruthlessly. But yeah, that is my Treasure Planet square. I am so glad that I included it. This was the first time I had ever actually watched Treasure Planet, was for this project. So I'm really glad that I gave it that chance because it's a great film. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. The themes are like so powerful and heartwarming, and I do love it. And it's like the red herring type situation, like you don't really know who's the bad guy until the end, you know. It's like, oh, and then like a bad guy turns out to be a good guy, and it's like all this fun stuff on top of like sci-fi and action, and it's great. Then we have my Lilo and Stitch square. Of course, in the back I went with a Lilo kind of outfit theme, but here I wanted to represent Lilo's two best friends, Stitch and Scrump. And I know Stitch's head is a little round, but I still think he came out super cute, and I really do like the Lilo and Stitch square. Lilo and Stitch is another movie that's just like, I loved it as a kid. I did love it. I think I went to the theater to watch it. I think my tia took me and my cousin to go watch it, and I love it. I think it came out adorable. Next, we have my Brother Bear square, and I adore this one. I fear the paw print for Kenai. That's what I had to do. But like, you know, he finally gets his handprint on the wall, but he chooses to stay as a bear so that he can be with Coda, his little brother bear. And I get why this movie makes people emotional, y'all. This movie is like, you know, it's heart-wrenching, it's powerful, it's like loving. I love it. There's so many emotions in this movie, and I had to put little Kenai and Coda on there as well, and I think that this one came out so cute. I do love it. Now this is one of the more fun ones that I think I've ever done. Okay, airplane, I got things to do too. Here we have yet another great Pixar feature, Finding Nemo. Y'all, I love this one. I had to include the P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way Sydney up here, as well as Marlon and Dory, because they're basically the main characters of the entire film. I just think it came out so, I love it. Like, you look at it, there's no mistaking exactly what that is. Finding Nemo. Like, easy. Amazing. I adore it. I hope you do too. And next, another great Pixar feature, The Incredibles. Y'all, I fear I may have ate with this one. Left no crumbs, okay? I really wanted to represent that Incredibles logo. I felt like that was the only way to go with this film, and it may have come out perfect. I think it came out perfect. Like the way that the orange is thicker here and it gets thinner, but then over here it's thicker on the bottom and it gets thinner on the top. You know? And then another, man, Pixar was on a roll in the early to mid 2000s. We got Cars. Oh, I love it. Now, spelling out words in crochet is a little difficult, I will say. But I did the sign for Flo's V8 Cafe around the rim. I wanted to go with that like racing flag, you know, sort of theme. And but yeah, I thought that the neon sign for Flo's Cafe was the perfect way to go with this. Originally I was gonna do the 95 on the side of, you know, Lightning McQueen, because one, it's like he's the main character, and then two, I was born in the year 1995, so I felt like it would be kind of fitting. But I don't know. I saw the sign for Flo's V8 Cafe, the nighttime scene in Cars when all the lights get all beautiful and amazing. It's like my favorite scene in the whole movie when they start playing that 50s music. I really love it, and so I felt like this was honestly the way to go, and I honestly love how it came out, and it's still very unmistakably Cars in my opinion. Then we have my Meet the Robinsons square. This one might not be like super eye-catching at first, but you look closely in the background, I did the square itself to represent Goob's baseball uniform, because, you know, I know Goob isn't like the main character, although he is kind of a antagonist, but when he's a kid, I just think he's the cutest little character ever. I love him. He's just like so funny. And then, but in the middle, I had to include just like the Robinson family logo, and I think it came out so adorable. For anybody who has not seen Meet the Robinsons, please do yourself a favor and watch it. I loved it as a kid, and I hadn't seen it for years, decades probably, until I sat down to watch it again for this project, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's so good. It's so good. So many beautiful themes in it as well. And I really do love how they use Walt Disney's quote of keep moving forward, you know, like don't get stuck in the past and stuff like that. It's really adorable. And lastly, number 48, wow, of my Disney squares, my most recent one that I have posted is Ratatouille. Oh my gosh, so cute. I did the, how do you say it? The toque or the toque? The hat that the linguini wears. I know there's a name for it in French, and I'm probably not saying it right, but I had to do that, and then a Remy silhouette on the inside. I didn't want to just go straight up Remy. I wanted to kind of like represent what it kind of looked like in the movie, seeing him underneath the hat and everything. And then the background I went with, you know, like a rat theme, the gray with the pink for his like paws and his ears. And I just think, oh, it came out so cute. I remember, you know, I think Ratatouille is a good movie. It is a good movie. But I think like rewatching it for this project, I was like, Remy gets on my freaking nerves. Like he is an annoying character, but I like how everything kind of works out for everybody in the end, and it is a good movie. And wow, my voice is so hoarse. I've been filming for like an hour. I knew this was going to take forever. Oh my god. But you know what? I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing my Disney squares. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. I will definitely be continuing to release the full length like videos of when I was making these squares in order here on YouTube Shorts. But if you want to go check them out, I also have posted them on Instagram and TikTok before, so those links are in the bio always. In the description. I don't know why I said bio. Anyway, I'm gonna go rest my vocal cords now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've created for all of these special movies. I love Disney. It's such a big part of my brand, my personality. Disney is a part of me. I've loved it ever since I was a child, and I still love it to this day. And, you know, no company is perfect. I'm not over here saying like I would give my life for Disney or anything like that, but it is a big part of me. And so doing this project really does bring me immense joy. So being able to share it with so many people online and they love it means the world to me as well. And honestly, just being able to sit here and talk to you guys every single week, multiple times a week, means the world to me too. So thank you guys so much for giving me this platform to talk to you on. I'm so happy that you all enjoy being here, spending time with me every week. You guys truly are the best. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!